Why even bother having a clues challenge in River Heights? Everyone knows Nancy Drew is gonna win. The rules say large teams get points taken away, but points don't matter in this competition because whoever finds the medallion first is the winner.
This anagram from the Clues Challenge says I should go check out the thermostat at the old town hall.
Why does the anagram say setting storage room on top? Why did Nancy investigate this clue by herself? She's not being a team player.
It won't open.
Why did the door lock behind Nancy? Locking the door wasn't part of Brenda's plan. The fire starts in this room, but engulfs all of these rooms first. This puzzle reused from previous game. The news report about Nancy Drew does not show any images of Nancy Drew. It is daytime when Nancy gets the note, but nighttime when Nancy goes to town hall. Why did she wait several hours?
State your name for the record.
Nancy Drew.
State your name for the record.
Nancy Drew.
None of these loud background noises are captured on the Chief's audio footage. The Chief writes down some answers, but not others. Why is there a close-up of this wheel? The news ticker repeats the same message over and over again. I guess the writers were lazy. Brenda's hair. Let's get this out of the way.
Between you and me, they're kind of dumb.
Wow, you're a terrible friend.
You talk to them or something, right? I'm not wrong.
Deirdre is a jerk.
True that she's been known to skirt the law when she's on a case?
No!
So then she just flagrantly breaks the law. Good to know.
Brenda is a jerk.
I just want to ask you a question.
Well, the answer is yes. The question was, should I waltz myself out of the shop and never come back ever as long as I live?
You're really mean.
Alexei is a jerk.
Did you think I was going to help you now? I'm really not going to.
Toni is a jerk.
The world's ending. If the world is not ending, whatever you gotta say can wait.
Chief McGinnis is a jerk. Everyone is a jerk. No wonder Nancy never spends time at home in this series. Chief McGinnis turns on the siren at the exact same time he bangs on the front door. Either he has an invisible cop working with him, or he can stretch out his arms 20 feet. Nancy's dog isn't visible in any of these shots. The one time Nancy is at home, both her dad and Hannah just happen to be out of state.
Drew, you're free to make a call.
Nancy is only supposed to get one phone call, but she's allowed to make as many calls as she wants.
I guess I better get going now.
Where are you going? You're locked in a cell. You can't go anywhere.
I should call my friends.
Nancy has all these phone numbers memorized.
Plus, that's not how things work.
But she is innocent.
Then why is she in jail?
Because she's been framed.
Plus, that's not how things work.
But she is innocent.
Then why is she in jail?
Because she's been framed.
Plus, that's not how things work.
But she is innocent.
Then why is she in jail?
Because she's been framed.
It doesn't matter what character you play as, all three of them say the exact same things. What's the point of giving us the option to pick one of Nancy's friends when there's no difference between them? You can get through the entire game without playing as George.
Since your dad and Hannah are out of town, George is watching your house.
Why is George watching Nancy's house? It's an empty house. There's nothing to do there. If you visit Nancy's house as another character, George isn't there. Ned is the only one whose phone doesn't have a camera. The wiki has the solution for the first clue of the Clues Challenge, but not the other two. This weekly paper is published daily. The town has dozens of buildings that we can't go to. Nancy, Bess, and George have houses in town, but not Ned. Is he homeless? All the streets in town are so narrow, only one car can use them at a time. None of the streets have names or traffic lights. Nancy's friends regularly hit the curb while driving. Nancy's How to Be a Detective book is on her desk during the intro, but not in the game itself. Why are Nancy's lockpicking notes written in code? Why didn't the police find this note? Why is the police station locked? Citizens should be able to enter. If Nancy opens the door and you switch to another character, the door magically closes and locks itself. The police force Nancy to solve the mystery for them. Nancy does everyone else's chores cliché. Seriously, the police officers don't even try to solve the case. Do your job, police officers! So there are only 3 police officers in this town? No wonder they have problems with crime. The police give an arrested suspect free access to everything at the station. This note magically transports from the drop-off box to the evidence board. When you close the drop-off box, the items in your inventory get rearranged. The picture of Nancy is clearly a picture of Bess.
Don't let me catch you messing with anything. Get me? Don't let me catch you.
Chief McGinnis clearly indicates that Nancy can't be seen out of her cell, but he stands next to her and talks to her at the evidence board multiple times. The pending lab report is listed as evidence against Nancy, but if the report isn't finished yet, how do they know it incriminates her? How is the lab report still pending? It takes Nancy mere seconds to do her own lab analysis. Chief McGinnis orders Detective Ryan to find the missing key, but instead of doing it right away, Detective Ryan waits a few hours, so Nancy's friends can get the key before him.
Some of us have work to do.
What work is Chief McGinnis doing? He isn't working on Nancy's case, that's for sure. Every time you go to Scoop, Deirdre Shannon is there. Deirdre Shannon is always there.
I was in the United States of America, present day.
Deirdre accidentally reveals that she can time travel. Why does Deirdre have a food tray in front of her? You can't order food here. Who watches Deirdre when you're playing as Bess? Bess and Deirdre have ordered dozens of servings of ice cream today, but Toni isn't worried about them. Toni pretends all her ice cream is free, then hits you with the bill during the ending credits. This puzzle reused from the previous game. This map leaves out all the residential locations. Riverview College does not have a river view. According to the map, there should be a daycare here. According to the map, there are no buildings next door to the antique store.
I think he said he was going to Mabel Rose's.
What is Mabel Rose's? Is it a business or something? Bess doesn't try to grab the vase and stop it from falling. Really, the broken vase is Alexei's fault for keeping fragile things near the door. Alexei's giant legs.
Oh, Bess. It's not good. It's just me. I had to let the staff go.
If Toni is the only person who works at Scoop, how does she have enough free time to run a political campaign? If Scoop's business is doing that badly, why does it get so many deliveries on the same day? Toni pressured Chief McGinnis to arrest a suspect. She didn't care who, just as long as someone got arrested. So why didn't they arrest Alexei, the suspect with a criminal record? Where is Brenda's cameraman?
Fire is the biggest thing to happen here since Old Man Crowley's will was found.
That was over 75 years ago. No one questions the fact that Nancy solved a mystery 75 years ago.
Who would want to see the old town hall burn down?
Don't know, don't care.
This simple response is enough to trip up our heroes and confuse them. Brenda asks multiple questions per turn, but our heroes don't call her out on it.
True that she's been known to skirt the law when she's on a case?
No!
Yes?
You didn't treat me fairly in the articles you wrote.
What articles? She interviewed you for the first time just now.
Brenda will do anything to get her face on television.
Why? She's a news reporter. She already appears on TV on a daily basis.
The other suspects don't have the name recognition.
Except Alexei the celebrity and Toni the councilwoman. Alexei just happens to have a free vial which is the exact shape and size as the one we need.
Be warned, I rebuilt that game. I know the tricks.
There's no trick to this game, it's just clicking on numbers. How are people writing their names on the board here? Why does Alexei keep the key to his trunk in here? This puzzle.
Are you all taking turns or something? Send the next guy in with a sandwich, would you?
Poor Alexei never gets a sandwich.
In fact, Tony's brother-in-law is a Bennington.
Why say Tony's brother-in-law is a Bennington? Why not say Tony's husband is a Bennington?
Oh, excuse me, I have to go get this delivery.
Toni looks away from the street to look at the delivery truck. Where does Toni store her deliveries?
Nancy, I'm so glad you called.
Any luck getting me out of jail?
The fact that you're still in jail means this question does not need to be asked. Police use an 8 gig card to record 5 minutes of audio. Why did Nancy have her lock-picking kit with her when she got arrested? Why does Nancy keep matches in her lock-picking kit? Why is Nancy's bail so high? Nancy is 5'7", but not according to the cover art. Why did the police take Nancy's teddy bear? How is that evidence? The iron nugget from the crime scene was found in Nancy's house. Why isn't that on the evidence board? The fire notes have a space for the suspect's age and gender, but not their name. Why were they unable to determine what accelerant was used when they have a machine specifically designed to determine accelerants? Sweetie Pie's deliveries doesn't contain pies. Where does Nancy put the trash from this food?
How did Nancy's matches end up here?
Why is it suspicious that Nancy keeps matches in her cupboard? I think Nancy has a chocolate problem. The police are guarding the building, but they don't notice George crawling through the window.
We need some info from Toni. Can you take the lead since she likes you?
You can't switch between characters without switching to Nancy first. You can't switch items between characters.
Why do you have paint supplies here?
Toni is not suspicious when George asks her about things in her locked storeroom. Why do Toni's signs and email use the name Antonia when she prefers the name Toni? This puzzle. I don't understand why the city is being blamed for these crimes. Most of them occurred on private property. If there's a crime at the hotel, people should blame the hotel, not the city council.
I need to figure out which accelerant matches these figures.
Why don't they keep a list of accelerants at the police station, along with the machine that analyzes accelerants? Nancy doesn't have a picture for her dad. Why are there no other lawyers in town who can take Nancy's case before Carson gets back?
I didn't know you were a jogger.
Yeah, I'm into all of that health stuff.
She says this while drinking an unhealthy milkshake.
So I followed her and found a note someone left for her. I intercepted it. It had a time and a place, so I went.
There is no time listed on this note. Ned doesn't notice his name with a big heart next to it in Deirdre's notebook. Brenda left her fingerprint on this note despite sealing it in a plastic bag to avoid leaving fingerprints. Culprit foils their own plot.
I have data from a gas chromatograph, but I don't know what the output means.
I think I may have just the thing you need at the office.
Why does Mr. Drew have a book about gas chromatographs in his law offices?
I'll have my friends keep an eye out on the fireplace mantle for the delivery.
Why leave the paper on the fireplace mantle? Why not leave it by the front door? George is allegedly watching the house, but she's not there when the paper is delivered.
Ed, we need to get Deirdre's fingerprint. See if you can distract her.
Distract her?
Maybe invite her out on a date. Anything so that we can get her fingerprint.
Can do.
Ned is totally fine with dating other girls.
This is about Deirdre, isn't it?
Yes, we need to distract her. You have to ask her out on a date.
I have to what?
Just take her out for lunch. Stall her for a while.
But what if people see us? I'll get a reputation.
The first time Nancy asks Ned to date Deirdre, he's fine with it. The second time Nancy asks Ned to date Deirdre, he's totally against the idea.
Maybe we could go grab some food together.
Ned asks Deirdre to go somewhere to eat while they're at a place to eat. Toni doesn't notice Ned using the fingerprint kit within eyeshot of her.
Wham! See you at 11 'cause you just got 9'd.
The new show broadcasts at 11? Why don't they have an earlier time slot? Alexei is not at all suspicious that Nancy's friends keep asking him to get stuff in the back of the shop and then they leave before he returns. Alexei and Toni lie about their alibis for no apparent reason. Alexei's notes say that he snuck out of the crime scene, then snuck back in to investigate. Why bother sneaking out to begin with? Brenda accepts random news tips without any context.
Report breaking news in the North River Heights area. Say yes.
These areas are far too large for Brenda to search them efficiently. Brenda leaves, even though she didn't have enough time to check her phone, wrap up what she's doing, and go through the hidden passageway. Brenda doesn't get suspicious when she keeps getting sent away on false leads. Brenda leaves her van unlocked. Nancy's friends aren't suspicious that Brenda has a way to leave her van without using the doors. The chief doesn't bother to verify any of Nancy's evidence. Most of Nancy's evidence was gathered illegally, so the police can't use it. Why did Brenda plant these keys in Alexei's store? Why not plant them in Nancy's house at the same time she planted the anvil?
Isn't that exactly the same thing you were wearing before you got changed?
No, it's completely different.
It's the same thing. Ned completely disappears from the game the instant Nancy gets out of jail. Nancy never tells her father she got out of jail.
So, how did Ned do with Deirdre?
I have never seen him so stressed out.
Why was George watching Ned and Deirdre's date?
I share the van with other reporters sometimes.
Just not in this game. When did Bess give this interview? We played as Bess for the whole game. She didn't take a half-hour break to talk to Brenda at Town Hall. Why is there a separate audio channel just for bugs? This puzzle.
Did you find anything out about Brenda?
Oh, I forgot. Nancy, I'm so sorry about the interview.
Bess magically knows Nancy has seen the interview.
But if the traffic was that bad, how could Brenda have made it to both of the interviews on her time log?
There was only one interview. The other was a presentation at a daycare. It's a plot point that the town has bad traffic, but we've been playing for hours at this point, and there's been absolutely no traffic anywhere. Why does this town have multiple newspapers? There are no newspaper buildings on the town map. How did Alexei figure out all this on his own? Why doesn't Alexei say outright that Brenda is parked over the entrance to the hidden tunnels?
You're the one who left me the notes, aren't you?
Yes.
You lured me to Town Hall. You led me to that room.
Brenda flat out admits to being the culprit, but Nancy can't go to the police with this information. Instead of getting evidence against Brenda, Nancy wastes her time making a jammer. Brenda instantly drops her revenge scheme in favor of chasing a random news lead. Who threw the rock through the window? How could someone throw a rock through the window at that angle without seeing George? Why are people so mad at Nancy for burning down an abandoned building? The citizens of River Heights are fickle jerks who turn on Nancy at the drop of a hat, then go back to loving her and pretend that a gift basket makes everything okay. No wonder she doesn't go home in this series.
Why did you trust me right away? Your friends didn't.
Because you introduced yourself by yelling at Bess multiple times. George hasn't seen Brenda's antenna box, but her jammer still fits inside perfectly. Conveniently timed key drop. Nancy discovers a hidden passageway cliché. If Nancy goes from the antique store to the town hall through the hidden tunnels, her car magically teleports to town hall so she can drive away. Brenda's timeline says it takes Nancy 6 minutes to reach the thermostat after arriving at town hall. Why does it take so long? The thermostat is pretty close to the entrance. Instead of destroying the evidence, Brenda keeps it all here so it can be used against her. Culprit foils their own plot. We hear bats inside these tunnels, but we don't see bats inside these tunnels. That was the best picture of Nancy that Brenda could find. Brenda still uses tapes? This puzzle. If nobody knows about the tunnels, how were the winners of the Clues Challenge supposed to find the medallion? Game teases us with fake image of Nancy. Brenda's Nancy wig had straight hair when the real Nancy has circular hair. How did Nancy get inside Chief McGinnis' office? He has the door closed and locked at every other point in the game. The news ticker on the live broadcast talks about Brenda's arrest before it happens. If this is a live broadcast, why did Brenda have a tape?
Forever say goodbye to a former hero and look bravely.
Chief McGinnis gets out of his car way too quickly here. The jail has its own news program?
Dear Hannah.
Why is Nancy writing a letter to Hannah? They live together. Nancy's gift basket is made up of chips and a water bottle. That is a horrible gift basket. Is that box going to fit inside the time capsule?
As the winners of the Clues Challenge, I got to choose what to place in the time capsule. I'm pretty happy with what I chose to put in there. If you think about it, you'll be able to figure out what it is.
What did Nancy decide to put in the time capsule? I asked everybody what they wanted me to do at the end of the video, and they said eat ice cream. So here you go. Here is all the characters eating ice cream.
I guess I could have one more bowl. Love ice cream.
That is so good. Yum.
Yum.